All right. Hello and welcome back. My name is Brett. I'm a Christian digital marketing consultant, and you are joining in now for Principle 2, where we are going to go to our target audience. So great work. By this point, you should know, Principle 1, who you're talking to, and you should have a very clear idea of the type of people who you are going to be marketing to, that you're going to be talking to, that you're going to be creating services for, so on and so forth. And so great work. I am so happy you're with me up to this point. I will say you're one of the few. A lot of people kind of don't continue on with these things. And so great job. Principle 2 is go to them. And in the very first video of this course, I briefly mentioned in step 2, churches, we expect people to come to us. And we just kind of expect visitors to stumble in, and that's how our church is supposed to grow. That is not what we see in the Gospels or even the New Testament. As Paul is going around, Paul is going on missionary journeys all over the known world at the time, all around the Mediterranean. Jesus going all over the place, the disciples going all over the place. Nobody is waiting for people to come to them. And I think a lot of times as we get an established church and as we have people who are regulars, we can kind of get comfortable and we can kind of sit back and we can just kind of say, people are going to come in. I think we can change things up a little bit to be more effective. So again, principle 2 is go to them. This is what we see Jesus doing. He goes everywhere and he goes to them. And what we want to know, as we know your specific target audience, where do they go? What do they do? Because here's one of the really great things about knowing these things. Firstly, you can save money on your marketing. I know churches who live in huge cities and they're paying to send mailers out, and basically they just pick a zip code and they're like, we're going to send mailers to all the people in this zip code. Well, unless you have some kind of, empirical data or some kind of data to say all of my target audience lives right there, which is possible, which is generally not the case. But unless you have some kind of data to say they live there, that's really just kind of spraying it and wasting money. And what churches do is they try to show up everywhere because we're trying to save everyone, right? We're trying to get everyone. But if we can identify our target audience, which we've done, we only have to show up where they're at, which can be a very limited amount of places, right? And if we show up in the places they are, to them, it will seem like we're everywhere. And that is exactly what we want to do, because we're much more effective. To them, we're everywhere. And we're probably saving money doing it because we're not just shotgunning flyers downtown, dropping them out of helicopters or something. We're getting hyper relevant in our marketing efforts, and we want to know, where do they hang out when they're not at church, and we go to them. Now, I also want to say that yes, the church can be the primary place where we invite them back to. Okay. So, and I'll give you an example to kind of hammer this home. My website is the place where I invite my church leaders back to. Okay. My clients back to, or people who are prospective clients, people who are looking at my site but aren't sure they want to commit. I invite them back to my website. Okay. But I always go to them. Okay. So where do I find all of you church leaders who ultimately end up working with me or being clients or doing these paid courses? Where do I find you? Not on my website. I built my website and there's nobody there. They have to come from somewhere else. And so what that means is I'm in Facebook groups where there are thousands of church leaders and I'm answering questions, and then they're saying, oh, right, I meet a need, I answer a question, and they say, oh, that's interesting. I want to know more about this guy, and they follow a link. Or, I know you're on Google, and I know you're searching these questions, church, how to market my church, or church marketing material, or something like that. And I have ads that run for these things because I know you're going to be there. And I don't have to do a whole lot. All I have to know is 2 or 3 places that I know you're going to be, and I'm going to find the people that I need to provide for his clientele. And that's the same with you. One of the examples is that you'll see as we continue on through the course is single moms, okay? There is a really high probability, if you have single moms, that they are dropping their kids off at daycare and picking them up every day. There's a good chance that those single moms will probably be at jungle gyms. There's a really good chance that those single moms will probably have doctors in the area for their kid, right? And if we know these types of things, we can know where we'll find them. We can probably come up with creative marketing solutions to get in the doors of those daycare centers. And the only thing you have to do, well, it's like, well, a daycare center is not going to let a church market there, but you'd be really surprised what people will allow you to do when you want to meet a deep need of their patrons, right? Okay. So the question is, how do you want to market at a daycare to get across to those single moms? So again, you're everywhere to them. What need does the daycare have? You say, hey, we'll meet this need for you if you allow us to put these flyers here and do this. And then you'll be really surprised at what people are willing to let you do. Again, our target audience, as you download Worksheet 7, I want you to put on your business hat and I want you to critical think. I want you to make the schedule of your target audience. Who are they? Where do they go? What do they do in the morning? What do they do in the afternoon? What do they do in the evening? You're going to be looking at your survey results. So make sure you have those out and available and be ready to kind of look at the most common responses that you have from those to make these answers. The really great thing about doing marketing this way is it removes the guesswork. Okay. And when I started making digital products, it was like, well, I think people will want this, or I feel people will want this. And then I would make it and then nothing would happen. I wouldn't sell it. I wouldn't make any money. And I had to keep my day job, so to speak. But what's really amazing is once you realize that people are willing to just tell you what they want and tell you what their needs are, and you can just get it straight from them, you don't have to guess anymore. Your marketing efforts are going to be much more effective because people just tell you. And when they tell you where they're at, and when they tell you what they want, and when they tell you, single moms, they might say, listen, I haven't had a night off in 6 months. Okay, that's a deeply felt need. And if you can come in and save the day there and give them a night off and provide the childcare and provide other single moms as supportive friends and have a pastor there doing whatever it is they told you they want to do, there's no guesswork involved. And that's what's really, really exciting, because your marketing efforts are going to work because they told you they will, the very people that you're marketing to. And so that's what's really exciting. And so in this part, just answer the questions. Where did they tell you they are? And let's kind of go through some of that information. I look forward to seeing you in step 1 of principle 3, where we're going to be discussing building the trust of our target audience. So we're going to meet them there, wherever they're at, and then we're going to build their trust.